You're listening to Amazing Radio. This is Amazing Afternoons. Delighted to say that Scott Lewis from Clue Records is on the line in the office. Clue Records there as well. Very busy day for you, I'd imagine, at the coal face of new and emerging music, Scott.
It is indeed, Frankie. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it never stops in here. I don't know quite what we do, but we end up doing something every day of the week. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, how are you getting on? You all right?
I'm very good. I'm very excited. I'm proud that we've got people like yourself associated with Amazing Radio who are celebrating 10 years, doing the best kind of independent music in the UK. 10 years of Clue Records. I'm proud to be associated. You must be incredibly proud of what you've achieved so far.
Massively. Like it's, I think we've done a couple of things recently. We had a show like a party on Saturday at Bruno Social Club in Leeds. I had 6 acts playing and a load of other bands or people we've worked with or people who are just fans of the bands we've looked after in the label came in, and I think it was that moment I realised how sort of proud I was of what we've achieved. Like the length of time in itself is something in this industry, I think, but also the community that we've built, like how people feel about the label and how they found music that they love through what we're trying to do and push. And that made me really proud. It was just a really nice thing you don't hear that. Do you know what I mean? You do things with the best intentions. You don't get that feedback, especially good stuff. You don't hear it. So it was really nice for people to take the time to do that. It was really, it was a beautiful thing, really.
Yeah, I from my own experiences of being in the music industry, I think when we found our label, we found it because we decided to go with that label because there was like-minded people on there, people that you would normally sit down and have a pint with and talk about everything else apart from music with. And I felt that was our best home. Do you find that that's the kind of company you have there at Clue?
Without a doubt, I think it's weird because if I meet with the bands, if it's a purposeful meeting, then we will talk about releases and we'll get through all of that. But we always end off going on tangents of what you're up to, what's going on. I know these people as in people, do you know what I mean? As human beings, as their lives and the high points and the low points. Some of them are my best mates now, and that's something that we look at when we sign or work with an artist. It's we have to have those shared values and sort of common interests and things like that, because then we know we can go through things together and sort of explain things with each other and try things out. So it's a massive thing for me. It's about community and it's about being that supportive network. It's not about money and it's not about a business mind, and you've got to bring parts of those into it, but it's about looking after people and giving helping them express themselves through their art in the right way.
Yeah, and helping them reach attainable goals as well. Goals and markers in the sand, which are probably shifted over those 10 years, haven't they? Vastly, from when you started from that first release you did up to where we are right now. What are the main differences you've seen in the industry over those 10 years?
Everything has changed. I think at the core of it, it's the same. It's people with a great imagination and writing these tunes that get you somewhere, whether it's in your head or your heart or a mix of both, and you just want to do everything that you can to get it out to an audience and let other people know that it's incredible. But on the other side of it, the way that you interact with fans is completely different. It's less in person and tangible a lot of the time, or it feels like it's easier because of social media. That is also really difficult because everyone's on that and doing that. So it's being able to actually reach people and get to people and build that community, I think is can be difficult, but I think it's about having patience with that. So record industry has changed. Vinyl, CD is sort of moving up a little, but CDs are still relevant. All those things that you think, everybody just be streaming, but all those things are really relevant. So it's about understanding your audience as well and what people want, and making those things exciting as well. Not just doing it because you're doing it for the sake of it. Putting care and attention and love into it, and making sort of collector's items and pieces as well, so people want to be involved with it.
Yeah, it's really good. How many official releases have there been in those 10 years?
Oh, Frankie, I don't know.
So someone must have asked this over the last week or a year or so.
Haven't you? Come on. No. So I know a lot. I know it's around about 400 tracks, I think, individually. Wow. But that makes up singles, EPs, albums, all sorts of bits like that. So it's something like that. We did. We've released a compilation album as part of the birthday celebration. So it's a double disc. Vinyl and double disc CD. On the vinyl, it's double vinyl with 22 different artists on it. So they have been our like core artists that we've worked with throughout that time. So 22 artists is a lot. And then on the CD, there are 34 tracks. So there's 31 artists in total. Because we did in 2017, we did something called Clue Club. Where we did like a magazine, a zine type thing once a month for that whole year. So we've worked with 31 different artists over that time. And some of them have had just singles, some EPs, some albums. So yeah, it's been a lot over that time. But having been able to put them together on that record, it's crowdfunded. People backed us to do that. It's come out amazing. There's a big picture disc on there. There's a Zoetrope moving image disc as well. It's the sound of it sounds like a coherent album, which is the thing I'm most proud of, I think, because it's like we've got that sound. Like, you know, you want that sort of like identity to it. I do feel like we've got that, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear Clue Records band when I hear it, and I think that's that's what you're looking for, isn't it? That's what all the great record labels have.
Absolutely.
You know, it's probably hard to pull out some milestones or greatest points of achievement so far. Every release you've done has been special for its own reason, I imagine. But if you could pull out a couple off the top of your head, what's been good markers in the sand for you?
The first ones are always more like the most special because you haven't got a clue what you're doing at that point. I don't know if there was a pun intended or not there, but yeah, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't have a clue. So the first one was a couple of CDs we did. It was the Always on Drugs. They had like white cardboard sleeves. We'd take them into a warehouse and just put them side to side and just spray different colors over them. They're all unique colours, and on the front and the back, we'd handwrite the track list in, no hand number them, burn the CDs ourselves. So just that tangible thing that you've got on it was really, really important to us. Narc's their second album we put out on vinyl, and that was our first vinyl pressing, which was a huge thing for us. It was a long-term aspiration. I still remember listening to the test pressing of that, which is you get as part of the process to make sure it all sounds all right on the wax. And we had everybody around my flat listen to it. And it sounded awful, and it sounded all over the place. And but it was my turntable was wonky, so it played it. The audio was like going up and down, and it was a nightmare. But then I realised I just needed a new sound system. So that was definitely a highlight with a nice little bit in there as well. And then I suppose that one of the recent ones, Pit Pony. So Northeast band. We put out their debut album in July this year, and we've just done some beautiful vinyl, like a black and white, a black and clear split. A red and black smoke. So those bits of matching the aesthetic and the identity of the bands is really important for me, and they're really significant to me as much as the sounds as well. Like, it sounds great. Can we push that up on how it looks as well on the artistic side?
Yeah, I was so delighted when I heard that yourselves and Pit Pony were working together. I thought it was a match, and it's been a successful album, hasn't it? It's really cut through in some great places, which makes me excited for the future for not just Pit Pony but also records. How do you go about sourcing these new bands? Then where do you get
I want to know everything that's going on by everyone in every corner of the land, but mainly in the north. Like, we are based in Leeds. I want to know what's going on in the north. I think we are underrepresented, and I don't think there's enough view or vision of what's going on up here, but I don't know, labels or the industry in London. So, and I'm from the northeast and from Teesside, so I want to know what's going on there. So Pit Pony I found through Amazing. Our show on Amazing Radio, we'd play their stuff on our show. They dropped me a message on Instagram, and then I loved the album from there. So we're always out there looking for stuff that even if we can't work with it, we'll play it on our show if we like it. But I think just going out and just being nosy and speaking to certain producers, like in studios, or certain DJs, listening to what you play, listening to what Shell plays, and just having sort of like little trusted people, I suppose, and then see, all right, if they're into it, then I'm gonna like it in some sort of way, and then find it from there. So yeah, lots of different ways. We're just being nosy, just being a nosy so and so, I think, is the main thing.
That's interesting. You see a kind of maybe an somewhat overlooked nature to the north. I've certainly found that in my time in the music industry, and I think it's a shame because a lot of creative, good, original things comes from the north of England. In fact, when you tend to get the London bands aren't as brave or certainly do buckle to current trends quite a lot, and that's something I always said. how can you ever go out of fashion if you've never been in fashion? And I always
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's a good statement of the North in general in terms of their approach to art. And I think, that's
Without a doubt.
we're good for being outside of the London bubble to that extent, with that in mind. But obviously there must be bands around from all over the place, all over the world, which you're listening to as well at the moment. And what kind of thing? What kind of styles are out there at the moment that are exciting you, or is there any particular artists you'd like to pull out and just say, I'm really loving their music at the minute?
Excited about it. There's a band in Leeds called Pleasure Centre, who are phenomenal live. They've only got the one EP out, but it's sort of like shoegazy, rocky, just really, something amazing. So they're really, really special. There's an electronic artist called Bosch. She was based in Leeds. She's now based in London, but she's like really interesting sort of grime. It's in Madonna, like all like really cool, interesting stuff on there. Who else? At the minute, I'm just in a complete hole with the Kendrick Lamar album, so that's a bit out of our range, I think. But
on tour around the UK at the moment as well.
I saw him in Leeds last Thursday, and it was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, that. So yeah, there's loads of stuff. There's an incredible scene in Leeds and further up in the northeast as well. Like I'm always up to Twisterella Festival or Stockton Calling, because there's Sarah Johnson, actually. That's one artist who I think is incredible. I'm really excited by. So Stockton-based artist, and Lizzie Esau as well as another one. Who, a couple of them are really, really special artists. So there's tons out there at the minute. I think some really exciting stuff out there. It's really good.
Yeah, it's very healthy at the moment, indeed. So what's the rest of the year looking like for Clue Records? I know we're almost into the embers of the year, if you like, but have you got some more work planned before you head into the Christmas break? Do you get a break?
I was going to say, if I could just get an 8-hour sleep, that'd be delightful. There's no more releases, thankfully. It's been a long build up. Like the Pit Pony was such a huge, important thing for us this year, and we wanted to do that well, and it's gone amazingly. And then the 10-year celebrations were a huge thing as well, and hopefully that shone a light on, if you like one or two of our artists, people will go and find others. So that's been a big thing for us this year. So now it's down to planning for next year. So we've got around, it could be like as few as 3, as many as 5 albums coming out next year.
Wow.
Which is very exciting and absolutely terrifying. So again, if I can get those 8 hours in this year, that'd be nice, because I don't think I'm going to get them next year. So yeah, just prepping for next year, being dead excited about that. It's big album time for us. So we've released a handful of albums, but our artists have never been at that point where that bigger body of work is all, like, we've had a few of them at that same point. Do you know what I mean? So for us now, it's like we can proper step up and feel like we're moving on and really going on to the next level for ourselves as well. So it's exciting.
Does that mean that you wouldn't be putting out as many singles, EPs, or because you're going to be solely focused on that, or because of the ease perhaps of releasing something just online? Are you still encouraging those newer bands to get in touch with yourselves?
Without a doubt, yeah. Like we're still looking. Those are the main focus of the albums, but there's still a couple of people that I'm looking at for. And then I suppose it's where they're at in their career and what they're looking to do, and whether we release with them at this point, or whether we say we're interested, we want to see how you keep going. And it's not just a thing of saying that and leaving them. It's like, how can we help you? Do you know what I mean? The bits where we can sort of plug you in, connect you to industry, whatever it might be. There's definitely scope for that. Yeah. So it's not. I always want to be that accessible as a label. Do you know what I mean? That was one of the reasons as we started Clue, is because I didn't think labels were particularly accessible. Felt like something that was out of reach, and we listen to music and we are music lovers. So I want those early artists to know that somebody out there is listening to them. So yeah, I think it's still a thing for us, definitely, to be looking at the earlier on artists.
Exciting stuff. It's going to be a big 2023 for you. I'm very excited about it, and I can't wait to hear those albums when they come out, when you reveal what they are. And more great music for us here on Amazing Radio as well. Scott, thanks so much for taking the time. We'll see you very soon. Have we got another show before Christmas?
Yeah, we'll have like maybe an end of year wrap up. So yeah, when that will come in late November, I think we might even get a little Christmas special. We might do that as well. So there'll be a couple. But yeah, keep an eye out. I know, yeah, we'll love a bit of cheese. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, no, thank you for having us on, Frankie. It's been great to speak to you. Thanks for listening, everyone.